I was literally at this event and this dude came up to me like screaming, like I'm not joking, like screaming. And we're at like a event where there's a lot of people and everyone's like turning around like, what is happening? Like, oh my God. And he's like screaming like, oh my God, are you Abby Berner? Like, are you real? And like, just like, didn't realize like maybe I wasn't a like real person, like and was just like almost passed out, like fell on the floor and like was like, can I see your TikTok logo tattoo? And I like pulled my sleeve up and he was like, oh my God, it's you.
It is you. We have proof. Yeah, not that I'm a human being here. It's like, yeah, I was like, this is the thing.
Podcast time.
Episode 4. Welcome everyone to The Main Story, our podcast at the Pioneers. What's going on in esports gaming, traditional sports, all that jazz. We are on episode 3 and excited to keep this thing rolling.
Yeah, man. 3 episodes already. It's been something to look forward to every week. I'm excited we get to sit here and do this. And today, we got Kingston Robinson back on another episode, a.k.a. Game Armor Game. And we have our special guest star, Abby Berner, today. One of Pioneer's newest content creators / influencers. And we're primarily just going to be talking about, her story, how she got to where she's at today. Almost 10 million followers across all platforms is something that not a lot of people get to in their content creation careers. Yeah, very. So, let's just get right into it. So, Abby, if you want to introduce yourself and tell the Pioneers fam a little bit about yourself, that would be lit.
Oh gosh. Okay. Hi guys. I'm Abby Berner. I am a content creator for the Pioneers, and I am on pretty much every single platform you can think of.
That's it.
That's all.
That's all you do every day.
I feel like you slightly undersold it. Like, I mean, I make content on platforms, but like that's not the same.
It's hard to gas yourself up. So I know.
I'm just
okay.
Okay, that's all.
We should let's give a fantastic intro.
Like, fantastic intro.
Like a WWE.
Okay, yeah, this is Kingston's specialty.
Is your how would you intro, Abby? let's get a better intro. No pressure, by the way.
Okay. Well, if there was pressure, I would do better.
All the pressure.
Make it awesome.
This is going to get 14 million views.
14 million views, heard that. So for the 14 million watching, you are now being able to see one of the newest content creators, a tremendous influencer spanning over millions and millions of people that watch, like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of the platforms that you can think of. She is on it. We have Miss Abby Berner, who is now on episode 3 of The Main Story.
He just took both of our jobs, I'm pretty sure.
And now it's like, all right,
So
I'm just going to drink my coffee. Yeah, because we're like a hype video. Okay, well, there you go.
Boom, that was
That's
that.
all we're
So
She also makes content on all platforms.
all platforms, all of them. And has a TikTok logo tattoo.
I do.
That's a real thing?
That is a real thing.
Would you like to see?
Shut the front door.
Wow.
When I hit 2 million followers on TikTok.
I mean, if you had 2 million TikTok followers and it changed your life, would you not get the...
No, but...
I mean, I told them I was going to do it.
I mean,
and
I know.
Like, I have to follow through. I got to do it.
Them as in your like fans?
Yep. I was like, all right, guys, when we hit 2 million,
I respect
get
it.
the TikTok tattoo.
What were we talking about
it.
the other day? It was like, what was your next, like, was it an IG logo? Or?
Verification logo.
Oh, the check mark. Yeah.
Once I get verified on all platforms, that's coming next.
Wait, which ones
Right
are you
next
not
to it.
verified on?
Not...
TikTok and Instagram.
What?
Yeah, right?
How?
Those are like my main platforms too.
Wait,
which is
what?
Crazy.
They're like, what does it take to be verified on TikTok? Bro.
Nobody knows.
Like, I don't know who's looking at this at TikTok, but come on.
As much shit as we give Twitch sometimes, like, at least they gave you a check mark.
I know.
Right? Like,
that's why I was
within
like
a month
at
of
least
streaming.
Yeah, I was
this is
about
my
to say,
first
they came with that
platform
hot and
that
ready.
has it.
One thing that we missed out on the intro is like one of the fastest growing influencers. Like whenever you did a shoot for KCP probably like 2 years ago with the blue shirts and whatnot, I think I remember seeing you with like 300K on Instagram ish. So fast forward 2 years and you're about to hit 2 million. Like, that's pretty crazy for a 2-year growth period. So let's just like rewind a little bit. So back then, like 300K on Instagram and then TikTok is starting out, but you weren't always like an influencer. What was your life like before you made content on the internet?
So I pretty much like right after high school was when I like full on started social media. But so my senior year, I transferred schools my senior year. So I went to a brand new school. So I was like the new kid. And I was like, you know what? I'm at a new school, all new people. I like always wanted to start like a YouTube channel or like be an influencer in general. And so I was like, you know what? It's senior year. None of these people are going to remember me. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. So I started my YouTube channel like senior year, and I was just like posting. And then like end of senior year, I had like 1,000 subscribers, and I like made this massive cake and like was freaking out like so crazy.
yeah.
I literally hit like 1,000. And then I was like, that was when TikTok started being like a thing. So I was like, I'm just going to start posting on TikTok too. Like, let's just try it. And so I had like, I'm not joking, like 15 videos that I had posted. And then one took off. And then like, I woke up the next morning and I had like 100,000 followers.
From one video.
From one video.
What was when you say it took off, like how many views did it get? If you remember?
It was like millions.
Is it still on? Like,
Oh yeah,
Will you
no.
be able
If
to
you
find
scroll
it?
like all the way down,
gonna
that
have
would
to
take
pin
a
that.
while to definitely. I should pin that. But
That'd
yeah,
be funny.
it was like I woke up and I was like, what is going on?
so you didn't wake up and go like, "That's it, I'm famous." Like, what is the? Well, go finish your story, but like,
I was just kind of like surprised. Like I was just like, wait, should I do something with this? So then I just like, yeah. So like after I graduated high school, I was like wanting to go to college, in which I didn't end up going. We had a change of plans. So I like saw the 100,000 and I was like, okay, maybe I should like start doing this, like focus on this more. So I just started like posting like consistently all the time, every single day. And like come like that last week that I was like, it was like my final decision, like, am I going to college or not? And I was like crying, like didn't know if I wanted to go. And then I was like, nope, we're going to risk it. We're just not going to go. And I'm going to take like all the time and just do like social media full time. And here we are. It is my full time thing now.
It's crazy.
So.
100,000 followers after one video.
Overnight.
Yeah.
So for people listening, you said it all happened kind of during your senior years when you started. What year was that? That was like 2018, 19?
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, 2018, 2019. Okay. Yeah.
It's like pre-COVID, the world's still completely open. Like that's before
And then COVID
even
obviously
people.
definitely did help.
Yeah, and then COVID, the boom comes in, and
Yeah.
people are spending more time online. That's
Yeah.
that's so crazy. And you weren't always like making gaming content, right? So we just started working together 3-4 months ago, as you started to stream on Twitch and YouTube some more. But before that, for people that might not be familiar, like what kind of content did you create? Like I'm curious, what was the video that
Yeah, what was the
millions
main
of
one?
views? What was that one?
Okay.
we'll link it.
Yeah, no, literally. It was actually, okay, so previously like the like 15 videos that I like had before was my sneaker collection. I am a crazy sneakerhead and have like a whole room full.
No. Like, how many? So now we have to. How many pairs of sneakers do you have?
It's definitely over like 400 now. We might be at 500. But
So 500. Hold on, 500 pairs of shoes, valued at probably $100 each, give or take, right?
Easily. But they're mostly like.
I mean, if we're going average, probably more than 100 a piece.
That's
Anyways.
crazy.
yeah,
And
because
sorry,
we have a
that's-
lot of Jordans in there.
Yeah.
A lot of J's.
Yeah.
A lot of.
Please be getting up there.
Yeah. A lot of plastic tags on those shoes. Just saying.
Yeah.
So you did it.
So it was like sneaker content.
So was sneaker was the first.
And then I also did the cringy TikTok dances, which I also still do. But like
Which also.
the one that took off was me doing a throwback dance to, oh my God, I gotta think of the song. I can't even think of it. We're gonna have to like
We can find it.
put it in there.
We'll put it up.
Yeah, because it was so cringe. And the fact that that was the one that took off, I was like, So then once that one took off, like obviously people were viewing my page and like were following me. So then they were like viewing the other like TikToks and stuff like that, so that they saw my sneakers, and that also started a whole thing as well.
So making this kind of content just like doing the dances, and you're obviously putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable to like people when the online behind a screen, they'll say anything. They'll say the meanest shit you could possibly think of. But I think all three of us and most of us would say like, you know, we're not judging anybody for the content they make. We understand as content creators that putting yourself out there is one of the hardest things that you can do. So when you do that and you make yourself vulnerable, like most content creators just have this like mutual respect for each other, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But how do you deal with like the people that leave those like either hate comments or just roasting you for no reason? Because we all deal with it to a degree, and I'm sure that you get it more than anyone.
Yeah. Honestly, like for me, I just think like I'll read the comments and I'm like, wow, that was like really mean. But like for me, what goes through my head is like they must be going through something in their life that like is very like, you know, that is the way that they're handling it, is to be mean to other people. And so I'm like, they're just going through something in their life, and I hope that they get through it. And like, I don't take it personally. I know like a lot of people, it's like, I'm very thankful that I have like a strong like mental health, like that I can like handle the comments, because some of them are crazy. Like, I mean, like even like death threats, like things like that, like
for doing a dance.
For nothing,
like right,
You're like, I'm just showing my sneakers, people.
Exactly.
Like, why?
And it's just crazy,
why do I need
but
to
I'm
die?
just like, they must be going through something like really bad.
That's a good attitude.
Like, hope that they can get through what they
For sure.
and realize that that's not the way to handle things. And then honestly, a lot of them too, I will reply to, and like, for the most part, they'll reply back and they'll be like, right? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean that in the way that I said that. And I'm like, oh, so you didn't mean I was ugly. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, how did I misinterpret those 4 words?
Yeah,
I've seen
like,
that. I've seen that everywhere. Like growing up watching esports, like being a fan of Optic, they'll lose an event and their replies will just be like placed 4th at so and so, and they're just getting shit talked on them in all the replies, and then Scump will reply to one, and they're like, so sorry, bro. You did your best.
like you're a goat. You're a legend.
Dude, it's just so cringe.
Really?
Man.
Like, what the heck?
So then on the flip side of that, like obviously there's mean comments and things like that, but then there's also like these super fans. Like I remember you telling me last time we did content together. Like if you don't mind sharing that story, I'd love to hear it again, just because it's crazy. It's hilarious. You guys will hear it.
So I have like obviously some like crazy fans, but I was literally at this event and this dude came up to me like screaming, like I'm not joking, like screaming, and we're at like a event where there's a lot of people and everyone's like turning around like, what is happening? Like, oh my God. And he's like screaming like, oh my God, are you Abby Berner? Like, are you real? And like just like didn't realize like maybe I wasn't a like real person, like and was just like almost passed out, like fell on the floor and like was like, can I see your TikTok logo tattoo? And I like pulled my sleeve up and he was like, oh my God, it's you.
It is you. We have proof. Yeah, not that I'm a human being here. It's like,
I was like,
this is the thing.
I was like, no,
oh my
I'm
gosh.
right here. And I was like, my face was red because I'm like, oh my God, like I've never dealt with like that, but like it was wild for sure.
I just can't imagine like, and I think we should go back a little bit, like it's interesting, the responsibility angle at some point comes in, right? Like you're on this trajectory to make content. Maybe you just enjoy it. Maybe you want to do it. Maybe right off the jump, you're like, I want to do this for a living. Whatever your goal is early on, you're building a community, you're building your brand, and then it grows and it grows. And then somehow at some point, and I don't know, and maybe it doesn't matter how big your community is, and that is probably the answer, but like you have a responsibility to like, and I don't know if everyone appreciates that you have a responsibility. Like when you get such a big platform, like you can say something and like that will hold weight with like hundreds of thousands of people, which is weird really saying. And so like it goes probably deeper than being mean or, you know, being nice to fans and being accessible or, you know, being supportive in the comments. I think it's a great mentality, but like, how do you, like, what do you feel like your huge audience that you have, like, do you feel like you have a responsibility? Like,
yeah, definitely. I feel like I am like they're like my best friends. Like we're like a family. We're one big family, and I like feel like I have to like communicate with everyone as much as I can and stuff like that.
So also like, and then in terms of like, are there things that you stay away from? Because like there are definitely a myriad of polarizing topics, you know, from like politics and religion and, you know, like science, unfortunately. You know, it's like, but there's definitely things that like, do you think about like those kind of like current topics and like what you should talk about or what you shouldn't talk about? I mean, I know you have like your kind of your main lanes of things that you do, but also like it's got to be hard putting yourself out there all the time and then not like just being a human being going like, oh, I feel this way about A, B, and C, but you have a responsibility. Like, do you think about that?
See, like I just like, I kind of like feel like I have to like avoid that because it will cause like a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
And I just like don't want to, I guess, like bring all of that to my platform.
Sure.
But I try to like keep all that to myself. Just
well, and that's the problem, right? Like how transparent are you? Because like definitely you can't make everyone happy.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and then all that does is amplify the amount of like, the more people you have, the harder it is to make everyone happy, right? And then so if you're talking about millions of people, you could say something and like ostracize half of your fan base or like something that they don't agree with. So there's probably like a fine line when you get to the level that you're at of like really thinking about the stuff that I'm going to say and how like transparent, how accessible do I want to be on like, I don't know. I think it would be such a hard juxtaposition to be out there all the time, but then also go like, I really don't want, I mean, I have some thoughts, you know,
but it's just like, I feel like, I just like can't share some of the things, which kind of is like, do I want to, do I not want to?
Yeah.
But I just like don't.
Yeah. I mean, that's great, Paul. I'm sure like that's the right answer. I'm sure.
So you said that like you try to respond to as many people as possible and give them your time and things like that. One of the things that I struggle with, and I think a lot of people do, is like, working as an influencer and building a brand on the internet never sleeps. So it's like if you take a day off or you don't upload or you don't stream that day, like hundreds of thousands of other people are. And those are like viewers that you could be getting. Those are subs that you could be getting. And I struggle with that a lot of like trying to protect my time and not spend too much time replying to comments. Like, do you take days off like on purpose? Do you take, you know, what is your structure like? Because when you're an influencer, you make your own schedule pretty much, right? So like, what is your scheduling like?
I'm not gonna lie, I honestly don't think I've ever like actually taken a day off where I'm like not filming content or not doing anything. Like even when I'm on vacation, like I'm filming content, I'm taking pictures, I'm like responding to comments or like doing something at least. But I feel like I don't like actually take like a full entire day.
It's hard.
I'm like,
it's
it
really
is
hard
because I feel like I'm missing out on something or I have to do something.
I get that.
Yeah.
The expectations of like you're my favorite person. Why aren't you posting? Like, I'm at the DMV.
I'm like, hold on. I have to. I'm getting gas right now.
Like, I get my license renewed. It's not very exciting.
Gotta do some laundry.
Like this is a day.
On, please.
Where like just as a side note, like do you like how do you measure success, like in your current role, and then what are your goals? Like so 2024 ends. What are your, like next year or 2024 starts? 2023 ends. I have no idea what year it is. 2023 ends, right? So you got a whole year. Like where do you see yourself at the end of next year and how do you measure success?
I like haven't even like fully been like, oh, this is where I want to be. I kind of just take it day by day because I'm like any day can be different. But just honestly still like doing content full time. Yeah. And just, I
think like a good way to put what you're trying to say is you control what you can control. Like at the end of the day, all you can control is how frequent you upload and the quality of the content that you're uploading. But you can't control how many people are going to see it. You don't know when a video is going to flop. You don't know how many people are going to sub from a certain video. So you just take it day by day. Like it's,
Yeah.
I think everybody sets like follower goals and sub goals and things like that because they're important metrics to hit, but also it's good to just not even focus about those things too much and more so just focus on the quality of the content you put out.
So then success, which I think this is an important thing. Like, there's a reason why some of these things are called vanity metrics, right? Because like your follower count is like, that's a vanity metric, you know, for most people, until you hit a certain level where it's like, no, it's like for real. I'm a for real influencer, meaning like things that I talk about or I do or I say people respond to, and like in a huge quantity. So I think the success then is like just making, you know, quality content and, you know, being involved and stay your fans, which was such a better answer than like 100 million followers.
Yeah, like I would never like set like I've never like just full on been like, oh, this is what I want to hit. I just want to like build a community and like fan base that like however many, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Like I just want to like be able to like interact with all these people and somehow hopefully help like, you know, with something they're going through or like help make them smile or something like that.
That's great. And that's the lesson to like, I think everyone, like this is not like a secret to get like 100 million or 10 followers. It's like, find things that you're passionate about, you know, find ways and to show your passion online or through socials or whatever. And then like, just stick with it. And like, that's it, right?
Yeah.
Like Rome wasn't built in a day. You
Yeah.
know? It's like today's a Coliseum. It's like, bro, it's gonna take a minute. You know what I mean? Like we'll get right on that.
Yeah.
You know, so do you see like Kingston, you sitting here and listening, like, you know, you guys have different niche, right? Of like different audiences. And is there anything that, you know, I think a lot of people would love to talk to, you know, content creator and an influencer of, you know, Abby's caliber. Does anything resonate you? Like, is there anything that you think about differently, or is it like, does this just reinforce like what you're doing?
No, I mean, a lot of it is very much on par, because it was just like what we talked about last week, where being the most genuine you possible and sticking with that and creating content off of your interests and the things that you love to do and the things that you're passionate about, it translates so easy to the audience that of course they're going to become, you know, a fan, a follower, a subscriber, because they see the most authentic connection of you and your passion. When people try to fabricate that and just try to do what's trending or do what's out there at the moment, or they play whatever game is trending at the time, but they don't even really like playing that game, it shows. The audience sees that, your viewership drops, the content doesn't look that good. So being a sneakerhead and creating that content off of sneaker, loving your Jeep and being able to create that are all things that are so tangible to you that people see and they're like, I also like Jeeps. I also like Jordans.
I like J's.
But when it's that authentic, it's that easy. You want to be able to create that connection where, at the baseline, we've all gone through different things in life. We've all experienced things differently, but at the very baseline of it, you have a shared interest. I like that. I enjoy that. Let's share this interest together. And that's how followership happens. So paying attention to that and not getting so bogged down by, oh, well, I want to hit the next million now. Oh, I want to hit the next 100,000. That can run you into the ground so quickly. Just sitting there stressed over refreshing, being like, I posted something. I'm not getting any more followers today, or I'm not getting the interactions today. And
where's my dopamine?
Where is it? I need
Somebody hand me my dopamine. Somebody like my post.
Literally. That's how it is for a lot of people.
It is.
So on that topic, like, so you started out with sneaker content, got into just doing like TikTok, the trends, the dances, all that kind of stuff. And then it kind of transitioned into fitness for a while, and you still do that, obviously. But then more recently, it's just been a lot of streaming on Twitch and gaming. Like, have you always been a gamer and you just haven't made content with it? Do you see like potential of like an untapped audience there? Like,
yeah. Okay. So I have a brother, so I've always grown up with like him playing video games all the time. So then that led to me playing video games. But I always had like, and you guys know, like Game Boy, DS, all those. I think it was a PSP.
Yep, PlayStation Portable, throwback.
Like,
I want a Game Boy.
Goated system.
I literally had like the green one, the pink one, like all of those. And I would
OG one
literally
at
just
the
like
house.
game on those all the time.
I'll bring it.
And then like my brother got his like first like Xbox 360 or something like that, and I would play with him. But I just never like had posted any content of me like gaming. And then like joining the esports team, it like actually brought out like I actually love gaming. Like it's very fun.
Let's
like
go.
it's so entertaining. But then it also like helps me to be able to like build my fan base more because like if say I'm not like responding to someone's comment, but then they come in my Twitch stream and they're like typing in the chat, most likely I'm going to read the chat and I'm going to be like replying to them.
Exactly.
So it's a more like one-on-one, I feel like, and I can like actually like engage with my followers more. So I really like that because
So you're addicted.
Helps. Yes.
Say
I
it.
am.
Just
I
say
really
it.
am. I'm addicted.
Yeah,
I'm addicted.
there you
I
go.
mean, that's exactly what Andrew Wiley said, or was it Cole? One of the guys that we work with said like, you know, you can't talk to section 13 row for whatever.
Right.
But if they come into your Twitch stream, you can have that one-on-one interaction with them.
Yep.
So it just builds a deeper connection. So it's
You know
really
what's,
cool to
I
hear.
mean, that's interesting too. And like, to be able to interact more like genuinely or more frequently or more real time. And then also what's interesting too is that like if you have fans on, you know, TikTok and Instagram and all that good stuff, like there's no way for them to say like, I've supported you for like 14, 15 months or whatever.
Yeah.
But then like, it is cool to think that it can be like, oh, like you started Twitch streaming, like, you know, whenever it was October, I think. Was it October?
Ish.
Something like that.
Ish. So like not too long ago. And like, there's people that went ahead and subscribed like day one. So then like now next year, there'll be somebody to be like, oh, it's my 14th month of like, or, you know, my 16th month. And that's something that you'll recognize.
Yeah.
And like, so if your fans are like, oh, I'm subbing, I got the emotes, I got the little cute, you know, I got the cool thing. And it's such an easier way for like content creators and just people in general to recognize that like, hey, you have been here since day one. And that's super cool. And like, other than like, I don't know, it's just an interesting way to like, you can measure how engaged people are, I guess. And I just think the Twitch angle is such an interesting way to build a different type of community, but similar to like what you've already done.
Yeah.
I have a 50-month resub right now.
Shut up.
Shout out Pocket Sand.
Wait, who is it?
Pocket Sand 1, 2, 3, all the way through 9, I think. Is a former coworker at Sonic.
Okay.
Literally, since I became affiliate on Twitch, he has
love
subbed every single month.
50 months.
50 months.
But see, that's the
4 years.
thing. Like, I mean, you have no idea who's your first follower on TikTok. No clue,
Right,
right? Because
right.
you wake up and it's 100,000. And
Yeah.
maybe you don't on Twitch either. But like, you definitely wouldn't know who's been there since day one, you know?
And we're back. Wow.
Okay.
And we're back.
What were we talking
Where
about?
were we at? What were we at?
Okay. I think what we'll start over and we'll say,
Day one Twitchers being able to celebrate people that follow day one.
yes.
And the Twitch's model of being able to recognize that.
Bet. That is the recap. There was slight technical difficulties. It was my fault. I may or may not have thrown our logo on the TV and got caught slipping. Both, actually. So we're talking about Twitch, and we're talking about building a fan base to Kingston's point and engaging with them. So where do you see the future of Twitch for you? Like, what do you want to be doing on Twitch specifically?
Like gaming wise? Like
Sure.
games? Well, I feel like I definitely want to be able to like play with viewers more. Like
So viewer matches, banger. Okay.
Yeah. Cause like Fall Guys, I be playing Fall Guys and we be getting squads in there.
And the Fall Guys meta was strong when
Fall
it
Guys
was
is a
rolling.
blast.
Yeah.
Fall
It's a
Guys is
blast.
so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the little characters are so precious. I love the characters. They're like my favorite. Yeah, because I have an obsession with Squishmallows too as well.
Okay.
And so they like remind me of Squishmallows. And I'm just like, they're so cute.
So do
if
you
I could
have-
just have every single one as a little stuffed animal, I would.
Is that your community night? Do you have like a Twitch community night? Like where you're like monthly, you're like, all right, I'm doing community games or I'm doing.
It's kind of just random right now. I definitely need to like make a schedule of like, it's just kind of like, okay guys, we're playing Fall Guys right now. Who wants to join?
Yeah. I get
Which is
that.
easy when you have over like, you're like, and there's 7,000 people watching. I'm sure I can wrangle a group of 60 or whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm like, all right guys, come on, let's play.
One thing that she does do though is it's Funky Food Fridays.
Yes, I do.
And so we're working on like with Matt and Buck to make some YouTube videos from it, but she'll eat like viewer requested weird foods.
So I post about it and people every Friday unless I'm like out of town or something. But every Friday we got weird, funky Fridays, so weird food combos, saying people put in some weird food.
It
combos.
comes strong with the
Yes.
recommendations. What's
Yes.
the worst thing you've had to experience on Funky Food Friday?
It was definitely so I don't drink milk, so I had to use almond milk. It was almond milk with jalapeno cheddar Cheetos, and like you had to soak the Cheetos in the.
Who thinks of
how
these
do
things,
you-
right?
Oh,
Like,
and it's like multiple people said the same thing, and I threw up.
What?
Like
You,
I
like, literally?
had to. Yeah, I had a bag, and I literally
Man.
everyone like clipped it and everything. Yeah,
You're like,
that one was disgusting. Like it was horrible.
there better be lots of little like bits and like you better like come strong with the subs and the donos and whatever. Like I'm not doing any of that.
I'm an insanely picky eater, so I wouldn't try any of the things that you've told me, like a Reese's
Oh.
peanut butter cup with mustard on it.
Yeah.
I could do that.
I go for it.
That's
Oh,
easy.
okay, I guess.
Not
Like,
Bro, I grew up watching the era of Fear Factor. All right.
I watched Fear Factor.
And
I watched Fear
I used
Factor.
to watch Fear Factor while eating like breakfast or dinner or whatever.
eating
I just
cockroaches
and they're just sitting there
whole.
like worms and like all that, and I'm like,
He's got like
man,
a
that's
chip
crazy.
burrito.
I'm like, how
You're
long?
like, let
How
me
long?
try
They got
that.
10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's a long time.
That just
Sitting there eating a
this
ham
is
sandwich, not even
making
caring.
nauseous. Ugh, I couldn't
Yeah, I
do
could
this.
not do that. I think like last week we had like a peanut butter sandwich with ketchup and pickles.
I mean,
I
I think
It
that's
was
that's
weird.
doable.
Yeah.
Nope.
She
But
said
it was
pickles.
just-
Yeah, pickles
I mean,
out.
I know Nick's out on pickles,
Yeah.
but like what I would say, Team Abby Berner, a community audience, like you got to come up with like where, like that's just
That's
come
elementary.
on, you could do better.
that's
Yeah.
mid.
Well, I mean, okay. We started off strong with the jalapeno and almond milk, but
And then it flatlined.
So, what are you guys thinking? Like, what would you come up with?
Oh,
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Well, see, this is the thing about the whole funky food thing. I would think that it would be audience suggesting things that they've tried, not just like
True, because they can say anything.
milk.
Oh, you
yeah,
mean like
milk. And,
combinations?
yeah.
Okay,
Because like there are some people that just eat things that are like, all right, I would have never guessed, but milk and Cheetos, that's just not happening anywhere. You just put two things together.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's funky food combinations.
I don't
When
know.
I was in San Diego for TwitchCon, we went to a local pizza spot and they had like a chocolate pizza, which you hear about. Like I've heard about that from time to time, right?
Yeah,
It's
desserts
just all
pizza, yeah.
all dessert pizza stuff, right? But this had marinara sauce,
Oh,
Wait.
they're out of pocket.
Wait, with chocolate?
cheese, marinara sauce, like a normal pepperoni pizza, but then it had Hershey's Kisses on top.
Oh, they're
No,
straight out of
I'm
pocket. I'd eat it if it was a
I
challenge.
would try
but-
that, but
But that's
Yeah, that
that's
sounds-
wild.
You guys can't see, but Matt Ness. Well, I mean, if you're listening, you definitely can't see. But if you're watching the YouTube video version of this jazz, Matt Ness is right on this couch, and I think he's gonna try this pizza with
everything
Hershey
that we've
Kisses
just
on it.
mentioned, Matt is gonna try so that we can.
Oh yeah, here. Actually, last week
said-
they had me drink pickle juice with almond milk, so you can have that as your
See, that would do it.
my
Right?
That's no, that's fine.
Like,
Those,
all right, we got like,
Yeah.
come on.
Wait, you're saying that's fine too?
you
No,
throw it in
that's
a
not
little,
fine.
No,
I'm
you
not
throw it
taking
in a
it too
little
far.
blender bottle, chug that real quick.
They're
you're good.
like, I
You're
want
good.
you to drink like cottage cheese with
See, now
like
that's different.
almond milk
Yeah.
and like, and like
Sardines.
sardines and some hot pepper. Like that seems. Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're going straight out of pocket
yeah,
for that.
yeah. Sorry, OCE, but I don't know. I think it's polarizing over there, by the way. But no, I don't think that's something I think the best one, at least at this table so far, and I've not seen all of the Funky Food Fridays, and I don't know what shenanigans you're eating, but I did see Nick Rich Soul leave his body when he tried the Dorito, the hot,
the one chip?
the one
have
chip
you done-
challenge.
have you done the
Okay,
one chip?
see, I have it, but I haven't done it yet, and everyone's like, "When are you gonna do it?"
All right, so I did it. They come out with like a new edition that's hotter and hotter every year, I guess. And I did the 2021 one last September. And someone in my chat, when I was like, you don't even want to touch it with your hands. You wear gloves and whatnot. You don't want to get any on your lips, so you have to eat it whole. Anyways, somebody in my chat was like, go 10 minutes without anything to drink, and I'll give you $100. So I was like, okay. So I eat the chip. At first, it doesn't hit you like that. Like, it's fine. And then, so I was like, this isn't shit. And then you feel it just like building in your, like you can't even talk. Like, because if you talk.
I was
you're-
watching the stream.
Yeah, if you talk, you just start coughing, which makes it even worse.
That inhale.
So I just sat there. put music on my stream, like the volume all the way up so that I didn't have to talk. And I was just sweating, like dripping
It wasn't
sweat.
have to talk. Like I want you to understand that he could not speak.
I tried.
He
and
was
I'm
trying
like,
for a while. I was like, oh, it's not that bad. Thanks for the thing. And all of a sudden it was just like, and then it clicked.
Yeah.
Because I was watching and then it was just like, and then the music went up and it was just like.
I'm sitting there and I'm just
He's just sitting there.
taking deep breaths.
Deep
just
breaths.
like- so I ended up making it like 22 minutes but without anything. And my chat was like, okay, drink it. They were like, you can drink it. It's fine. It's fine. And at that point, it was already past. Like I could have just been fine, but I had water, milk, ice cream. Like I was stocked up. The craziest thing that happened though, my fingers locked up. Like the nerves in my fingers got stuck like this. My fingers were straight up stuck like this and I couldn't move them. Like I had to use my fingers to pry them apart.
But you had a glove you used, but I remember
I had
you had a glove, but then you took.
After I ate it, I took the gloves off.
Yeah. And then you had something on your lip was jacked too. Cause
I
like,
think I like touched my lip.
I
My
remember
lips were
that.
super red
And you're just like, he was like, man,
But I mean,
shut it
for someone
down.
who typically averages 20 viewers, I was sitting at like 80 for that shit. Because people love to see you hurt yourself
Taken
for
out,
whatever
I
reason.
guess.
Like,
This is probably not the path to go down, but
Yeah.
Oh God.
I've only had one experience like that. And it was literally just me trying to do a lot. At the time I was working, I came from behind the bar and I saw this big group in a section in front of me. And I usually just go over there and kind of like shake hands. Hey, what's going on? They were doing like a live Hot Ones episode, right across the bar from me. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. But they were getting the wings from the kitchen to do the Hot Ones episode. So I was like, okay, what wing are y'all on? They're like, we're at 9. We're about to do the last dab, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'll do it with y'all. Now I'm sitting here thinking, since I don't have the accumulative heat of 1 through 9, I'm good to take the last one and just kind of be good. I'm in the middle of my shift. And if I need to dull it down, I can like go somewhere and grab something to drink. They have to suffer. We all did it. Cheers. I ate the whole wing and I was like, all right, y'all have a good time. It wasn't until I broke the door to get right back behind the bar that I was like, something's happening.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
And I don't,
something ain't right.
Yeah. I was like, what's going on? And about 2-3 minutes later, my hands were shaking and I looked at somebody and I was like, yo, I'm gonna go get some water. And they're like, you're crying. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And I looked and it was just like tears. And I was like, I think my face is numb. I don't even feel this. So I went to the back and I was like splashing water on my face. Could not feel any of the water on my face. I was like, give me another wing. No sauce. I just need something to kind of like break up the texture. I was eating it and like the chicken was falling out of my mouth because my mouth was numb. I was like, you know what? Somebody get me out of work. I just need to go.
I was gonna say, you thought you were in the middle of it.
I still had like 6 more hours left. I was in shambles. There's no way I was making it.
We need a disclaimer down at the bottom for poor decision making. Number one.
True. Don't try this.
Do not try that at
I was
home.
about to say,
Don't do
I
this.
lived in
Still
a
wait till I try it on
business.
my stream.
Yeah, but maybe, when Abby does it on our stream, we'll see.
We'll get you a graphic for that. That just
No.
goes down the bottom.
No,
And
I'm
then,
not doing that ever.
We were in Texas for Rocket League Worlds, and Reed and I's roommate ordered a chicken sandwich. Oh yeah. And it was called the AMF, and it stood for Adios, my friend. And he didn't know, like he ordered a spicy chicken sandwich, but he didn't know. And so he's just like chilling in bed, takes a bite, and he out of nowhere, he's like, oh shit. He runs over to the sink and turns the cold water on and just runs his mouth under the sink for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, bro, it can't be that bad. It was that bad. Like it was infinitely worse than the one chip. Like I'd eat 3 one chips before I ate another bite of that sandwich.
No.
Never more than the F around and find out graph needs to come in.
Yeah,
So,
big
like,
facts.
there needs to
Big
be all
facts.
these things on there, like chicken and one chip challenge. So I hope, like for me, I'm just hoping that Funky Food Friday does not turn into like, how do we murder you with food? So maybe we'll just keep don't share, don't listen to what we're saying if you're going to Abby's stream. Yeah, I don't think we do it. So you did, like, I think. We talked a little bit about like, how you started and going into it. And now like the fitness angle is probably the most popular one that you have. Like, I mean, obviously I'm the most fit at this table, so I'm interested to
Hell
hear.
yeah.
Yeah. It's so not true, obviously, which is why I said it. Self-deprecating humor. What made you get into that? Like, how did you make the transition?
Like in the beginning, how I started.
Yeah.
I think I started. It was kind of sad how I started. A teacher actually
told
me that I was overweight in
a teacher.
Grade. Yeah, my 8th grade year, and
Do they still have a job?
No. Yeah.
I mean, that's like straight up just like bullying.
No, but also I'm like, thank you at this point because like it like helped me get into fitness, and then it was like, yeah, but yeah, my 8th grade year, and that just like ruined like my confidence, like ruined everything because like I'm still a child, like
8th grade,
8th grade, and I went home crying that night, and I was like, Mom, I need a gym membership, and I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna start training myself. So I would literally get up at 5 a.m. every morning before school, and I would literally be in the gym. And obviously, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of like doing the machines and stuff like that. And then like as I like started like getting more into fitness, I like figured out the form and like how to fix all that and stuff like that. But yeah, I like going into my freshman year, I literally dropped like 20 pounds, but I didn't need to drop 20 pounds because then I was at like 110, I think. Like I was like tiny. And then my doctor was like, why did you drop so much weight? And she was like kind of concerned. And I was like, oh shoot, like maybe I need to gain weight now. So then I was like,
damn it.
I was like, man, I'm not gonna break. And so then I was like, okay, well, let me like start, building muscle. So I started like, eating more protein and stuff like that. And then I was just like working out twice a day. And I like gained muscle like pretty quick. Cause obviously when you have those like beginner gains, you're gonna like
they pop out.
Oh, they do.
Pop out.
Really
beginner
do.
gains.
Beginner gains.
True.
It's a thing. It really
it's a thing.
is.
Okay.
You know all very well.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
once they pop out the first time, you're like, I'm
aware
in
of
here.
Expert
You're
games.
like, yeah, no,
games.
I know.
Games. Yeah, it's like lies in deceit. I am not hitting the jump.
Funny.
But yeah, the beginner games were crazy. And I was like benching a plate at like when I was like, because I think I was probably like 16. So then I was like, one of my friends was like, you should try powerlifting. And I was like, oh, like I don't even know what that is. Like I've never even heard of that. Didn't even know it was a thing. And I was like, okay, like let me just like start training for it. So like the main lifts for powerlifting in school was deadlift, bench and squat. Yeah. And so I was like, oh wait, no. So for high school, it was actually hang clean instead of deadlift.
Let's go.
I was going to say ours was hang clean.
Yeah. And I was terrible at hang clean. That was not my thing.
Squat,
and
bench,
then I started doing that, but I was like, our school didn't have a powerlifting team. So I was like going to these events, like every other school had a powerlifting team.
Right.
And I was going to these events by myself, no coach, had no idea what I was doing. Didn't know that you could like only had 3 attempts, like didn't know anything. And, but I was like doing good and I was getting like first and second and I like had no idea what I was doing. And then, one of the other coaches like approached me, and this was I transferred school my senior year. So this was why also, because he like came out to me and he was like, hey, do you want to like come transfer schools and like do powerlifting at our school?
Man was recruiting. He was just like, I think we could help coach you.
And it wasn't even a school to like recruit. Like I was just like, sure. I mean, why not? New start. So it's fine. And then I ended up starting the like powerlifting team at the school that I went to. And now there's like, which is so exciting, but like there's like a whole powerlifting team now.
That's so
and
sick.
I have like my name on the wall, and I started like the whole girls powerlifting team.
I was going to say, did you compete against men? Or
Oh, well, it was like girls, but then there was like a guys team as well, but it was like all together. But literally I started the whole like girls powerlifting team, and there was like so many younger girls that just like looked up to me, and like
That's
and still
so
to this
awesome.
day
Yeah.
I go
That's
like
dope.
coach or like coach, and sometimes I'll judge at the events, and all of the girls like come up to me like, oh my gosh, like I do this because you did it. And so it's like
awesome.
really amazing, and I love to be able to like inspire people and,
yeah,
like,
that's the best part of like being an influencer, is just inspiring younger generations. Like anytime that
Yeah.
we have opportunity to do stuff with the Boys and Girls Club or go talk to a classroom or whatever it is, I love doing that kind of thing. So you your powerlifting was on the Kansas side, or not Missouri. So
Yeah.
you're traveling to like McLeod and like Baser, Linwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to the same meets, but just a couple years apart. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's so funny. Yeah. and then it led to me actually competing in some like USA powerlifting meets, which, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I got like first at my first one at like 16, but yeah.
Weird, like slight flex. Like it's not,
I mean,
not a
like
big
these
deal,
are
right?
just like, but you know what's really interesting about this is like, I think two things as I listen to it. Like one is like everyone just makes these as like assumptions about like what influencers do, and like you are not just like, oh, I'm a fitness influencer. Like you are like an athlete. Like you approached it from like literal athletics in high school. You know what I mean? And then the other thing is like being, again, like passion coming through what you're talking about, right? Like when Kingston was talking about like, you know, hey, find your niche, be passionate about it, make your own individual content. And then like, that's what you're doing too. So it was just not like, oh, I'm going to like work out so like I can get more. It's like, no. It's like interesting how it started the other way. So there was that takeaway. And then the other thing I thought was interesting, like everyone has some kind of moment where they were motivated to do something by a person or a situation or something happened in your life, right? There was an event that has really just changed the trajectory of your life. And it doesn't always have to be like career path or, you know, whatever, but like you had a moment, right? Like that changed your life to be like,
Completely.
bruh.
Yeah.
Like this is, I'm not going, and then like, if just imagine, like that's a fork in a road where it's like, if you would have listened to that god awful teacher, and like you could have gone a whole like introverted way and like, so like words have meanings, by the way, like, right. And you can say very hateful things that aren't swear words and all that good stuff that, you know, and obviously educators shouldn't be doing that ever, no matter what. But like, imagine if you just went down that other road where it's like, yeah, no self-confidence and you just did whatever. And then all of a sudden like, but anyways, right, without getting into that path, but it was like, that was a moment that literally changed your life. And I know people say literally and figuratively all the time. Like they're not like interchangeable. I know it's literally, it did.
It did for sure.
Definitely.
And so now you're just like crushing it over on that side.
So one of the last things that we have to talk about is obviously more and more each day people want to become online influencers. You know, and even 10 years ago, it was a thing, but it's not nearly as accessible as it is now. You know, kids are starting YouTube channels super young. They see the people like you, and they want to do the same thing. What are just like your, I'd say like top 3 pieces of advice that you could give to someone who wants to start being an influencer?
I feel like because when people ask me this, it's always like the most basic, but it is like what it has to be.
Yeah, sometimes
like,
it's the easiest stuff.
Like find what you love, like what you're passionate about, like what we talked about earlier. Like don't just like hop on the trends. Like, yeah, you can hop on the trends, but like find what like makes you happy, what you're passionate about, and post that content. Like no matter how many views it gets, you got to be also consistent with it, because like if say you get like if I didn't like continue with like I got that one video and then 100,000, like if I just left that and was like, oh, I'll just post every like couple months or like whatever, I wouldn't be like where I am. So you have to like be consistent, like post every day. And I would say just be yourself.
Do what you love, post every day, and be yourself.
Yep.
That easy.
I mean, it really is. It's like, I know we talked about fitness, but it's just like tomorrow I can't go and run a marathon, right? Like it would be small incremental steps with like things that I wanted to do that I believed in or whatever. It's the same thing. Like, you know, there's a chance overnight that you blow up to your point. And now even blowing up is so like, there's even a micro version in there. It's like, you might blow up on one piece of content and then nobody ever messes with you again, you know, cause then that's the chance, that's the risk you take, you know, chasing trends, you know, cause like it's hard to always be blowing up on the same trend. So it's just really interesting. It's like anything, like small, tiny bite-sized pieces of like being successful, like being consistent with it. Like nothing's going to change things that, you know, if it were easy, everyone would do it. You know what I mean? That's what I say a lot. And like, you know, it's just really cool to get your perspective on having such a huge audience and having like such multi-dimensional in what you do, you know, because spoiler alert, you're a human being, and you like more than one thing, you know, and but also just realized early on what you're passionate about or whatever. So like, I think that's great advice, right? Like there is no secret, there is no magic. It's not like
everybody's like looking for the not get rich quick, but like get
But
big quick.
Yeah, the magic
Exactly,
bullet.
yeah.
Like the way to blow
They're like,
up.
okay,
or like,
what is it?
Yeah.
It's gonna happen to me tomorrow after you tell me what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna share that also.
Right away.
These top 3 tricks will
Which
get
is-
you 1 million followers in the next
Like,
30 days. Like it
immediately.
doesn't
Do it
work
now.
Like that.
Which is wild because everything that was said is exactly what it is, but people have yet to find out who they are to know
Oh,
what to
yeah.
produce as genuine content. They're still searching for well, I do like this, but do I like it enough to do this? I do like playing this, but you're still going through that method of finding out who you are. Once people find out who they are, some of them do it in that journey. It's not always linear. It's not always perfect. Some people stumble into it by playing something that they hate and then they fall into something that they love. And it's like, oh, then you see their career transcend. Once you can find that sweet spot, that genuine sweet spot where you don't have to put on a face every time you jump on to record something or stream something or anything like that. It's natural. They see it's natural. Your supporters see it's natural, and everybody is in on it. So for anyone that's out there still looking for the secret sauce, it's literally inside of you. Just find out what it is. And I know phrasing on that was kind of rough, but
I mean,
yeah, it is. It is.
It is insane.
It's true.
I mean, it's true. You're like, listen, I'm here for it. I'm signed up. Put me in,
for
coach.
your secret sauce, not mine.
Right. This is
Do you have days that
Thank you, Nick, for
horrible
saving this.
transition. He's like, right. Do you have
do
days?
you have days where you don't feel motivated and like you don't want to do anything,
Yes.
but you rely on the feeling of like having self-discipline to do it anyways?
Yes.
Because you know
Or is
Oh,
it
all
what?
the time.
Is it self-discipline or is it letting your community down?
Honestly, both. Yeah.
I was about to say, do they
'cause
go
I'm like,
hand in
I feel
hand?
like I just have this like whole family, and I'm like, they haven't heard from me today.
Yeah.
They
Like,
haven't
they need
heard
to know
from
I'm
me
okay.
today.
Like,
How has Discord been for you? Because I know it was one of the platforms that you're newer to, and I feel
Yeah.
like with putting your community first, it's super easy to just drop a message in Discord and be able to ping everyone than it might be for like an IG post or a TikTok post. Like I feel like Discord is kind of like a hub for
Yeah.
communities.
I'm still like getting used to it for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, I think it's very nice because you can literally just put the at everyone,
Yeah.
send them a message. I'm like, hey guys, hope you all have a great day.
Yeah.
And like they'll reply back, and I'll try to reply back as much as I can. But yeah, I think that's very helpful as well.
Discord, I think what's interesting is people are learning now, and you're a good testament to it. And I think, most folks that start on the content creation or streaming side of gaming understand it, but it's interesting that you come from the social side, right, into gaming, which is great. Is that like Discord and streaming, that's where your super fans are.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like, as we talked about earlier, there's a lot of reciprocity where it's not so much about like, oh, they can just like connect to you easier and you might respond or whatever. It's also like, it's easier for you,
Yeah.
to build like a relationship. And like, I don't want to say it's not a relationship. It's a relationship, and not like maybe some of y'all crazy pass out, show me your TikTok tattoo. We're thinking that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, building, building with your community. And I do think that, the streaming component and the Discord component always seems to me like it's more of like the super fan.
Yeah.
And so like and then how you choose to engage on those two platforms can make like you have a lot of flexibility there. So I think it's, like good for you. You should be doing that. That's what I'd be doing. I don't do that, but nobody wants to talk to me.
That's facts though. I lied. There is one more thing that we have to talk about. And then
Okay,
I'll take
last
us out.
thing.
But
One more thing.
we need to like clear the air with the McCole Hardman situation that happened on Twitter. Because from our perspective,
The Jet.
we all know that you guys know each other, and it was like a joke, right?
Yeah.
But like it goes back to what we were talking about earlier with just people leaving comments and they don't have any idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I would just love to hear it from your perspective, so like everybody knows that like you guys know each other, you're friends, you probably text every once in a while, like.
Yeah, no, literally, we've known each other. I think we've known each other since like, it's been like so long, for years. We've known each other for years. So not just like the esports, we've known each other like before that too,
Yeah.
but then we're also on the same esports team, which a lot of people didn't realize.
Yeah,
and
somebody's
still
like, oh, they're
haven't
both
put two and two
Casey
together.
Jones. Yeah.
Because I'm like, if you literally go back and look, like when I announced that I joined the Pioneers, like there was a post of literally us two together, and then he also posted,
Yeah.
like congrats.
Exactly.
And people did not put that together, but like, I mean, people made articles.
There were
and
TikToks about
Yeah.
it. like-
everything. And I'm getting tagged and all this, and I'm like, guys, like, we've literally known each other for so long. But it's just crazy how like people can like take things and just completely twist it around. And then like also a lot of these people are like, oh, anything to like get attention to them. So they're like, we'll just put this false information out there. Like, it's fine. But
Not to mention, like, typically in a month, you probably get like, or not probably, I see the numbers, but you get like 3 or 4 million Twitter impressions per month. That month was like 15 million.
yeah.
Like,
And that's your newest platform.
that's the newest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
that's
like, I
only
guess
at,
I'll
like,
do Twitter
100K.
now that I joined the
Yeah.
Pioneers. And it's like
I know,
rocket
you guys
ship.
were like, oh, start Twitter. I was like, I started it like a couple
She
weeks
said,
ago.
I started it. I started it. Yeah. So just because like McCole is probably listening, like what you're definitely better at Warzone than him.
I
Fortnite
think
for
so.
sure.
Fortnite?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
easily.
Who's better at Rocket League?
I'm gonna not even lie on that one. Like, definitely not me. So
I don't know.
I think it'd be closer than you think, though.
I think that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm thinking it'd be
not
closer.
because
Okay.
he plays Warzone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
give him
right.
that,
We'll have
but,
to have like a little Pioneer Invitational maybe.
sure.
And then you
Yeah.
jump in. So
But anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up?
I don't know.
Gucci.
I think we're good.
I think we solved it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well, I don't know what to get solved, but we solved
No,
something.
we chatted it up. We did it.
Well, thanks everyone to tuning in to this episode of The Main Story. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment. Let us know who you want to see on future episodes. This has been your host, Nick Rich, Mark Josie, Abby Berner, Kingston Robinson. Peace.
Peace. Let's get it, man.
we went live, man.
Now, Kingston, can you, what's the move where you drop someone through a table?
Oh man.
Yeah, just go ahead and Batista bomb
which
me
one
through
you
this
want?
table real quick.
Well, definitely Mark. I want Mark.
How would you like?
Is that what it's called? Batista bomb?
First of all,
I mean,
it'd be-
I've never seen anything like
it would be so much easier for him to
watch
use you. You weigh
WWE,
like
like,
12
ever?
pounds.
Or-
Look how tiny that
I'm like, so wait, is this happening?
Could you imagine? He's just like,
I'm like, okay,
that's why I was late today. It is not fake. Like, how can it be fake? You're picking up and
Okay,
slamming
can
human
I weigh
beings.
in because I don't know?
with chairs? I'm like, how is this?
so like on
Okay.
this table or what's going on?
Like, it's not fake,
Yeah, I kind of
But
want to know
it's
this too.
Yeah.
scripted.
I'm like, so who's